At Upscale Audio, what do we say, Kat?
We're going to treat our system like it's yours.
Your system like it's ours.
Your system like it's ours.
That's it. Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today I am with Kat Ourlian.
Hi.
And we are here with the Klipsch AK6 K-Horn. This is actually the 75th anniversary version, and Kat wanted to be involved with this video. Look, I started selling K-horns. I sold my first pair of corner horns back in the late 1970s. And I remember I sold a pair up to a restaurant called Ice House up in Mount Baldy. And they burned down along with the restaurant. So that's the end of that. But I've always had a soft spot for Klipsch loudspeakers. So that's me as the old dude. And then, you know, we had a pair, we were playing them in the store, and that got Kat going.
Dude, that got me. They blew me away. I was so excited about them. I've never heard something this amazing in our industry for this price and the design work. I had to learn more about them, and I had to be in this video so I can tell you guys about it and get some of the kids excited, because I know most of my customers lived the history of Klipsch. A 90s baby telling you guys all about it, but I need the youngsters to realize this is like the development of horns, why we love horn drivers so much, made in the USA. This is like OG hi-fi, and it's just brilliant. Paul Klipsch is a cool dude, one of the only people in Hall of Fame for audio engineering, and he's just amazing. So
yeah, and they really are amazing. And it's so funny because Kat's been on a tear along with a bunch of the others. You know, the thing is, like, we kind of sell stuff at Upscale Audio. She's not on commission. I mean, she kind of shares her enthusiasm. So I guess they've been throwing around a picture of one of your customers recently that put them into kind of a small room.
Yes, multiple customers.
Multiple customers. And then we just got in some Jubilees, and we had our first customer get his Jubilees in. And man, they looked amazing. Oh my God. I mean, the thing is, these are an absolute bargain. But you got to make sure you get the amplification right. And one of the reasons we are so popular as a Klipsch dealer is we understand that. I had a guy that had bought up, he didn't buy them, he inherited. Because this is the speaker that you hand down to your descendants, right? It's a lifetime purchase. And this guy had gotten a pair of corner horns that belonged to his father. And this guy, his father passed, he cherished them. He worked over here at Disney, in the movie industry, part of Disney Studios over here, right? And so somehow he ended up calling mail order places. And he said, what kind of amp should I get? I heard I should get tubes. And they said, yeah, you need 100 watts. He said, okay, sell me a 100 watt tube amplifier. And it was noise. First off, this speaker is 105 dB efficient, right? You can practically run it with a Walkman.
Super sensitive.
I mean, you know what a Walkman is, right?
I definitely know what a Walkman is.
Okay, that was before iPods. I mean, they don't require, I mean, really, just a couple of watts, 2 or 3 watts is all you need. So this company, this place sells him a 100 watt tube amp, runs a pair of KT120s, and it's a good amplifier. I mean, it's a pretty good one. It's not great. But the thing is, it's just noisier than shit. So he contacted us to upgrade the tubes, and he spent a bunch of money on upgraded tubes, unbeknownst to me. And then it was still noisy, and he was upset at us. I go, man, I didn't sell you the amp. And I kind of talked to him, and I talked him through it. And we got him into a Prima Luna, because Prima Lunas are eminently quiet, you know, because of the power supply. They have what's called a pi network in them, toroidal power transformers, all the tricks that are in Prima Luna amps. Any of them will work great with us. The 100, 200, 300, you don't need the 400 because that's really too much power. But if not a Prima Luna, if you don't want to go all tubes and you want to go, maybe you want to go with a single-ended amp, we have the Felix Arioso, which is very quiet in the world of a 300B amp.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to get into that stuff at all, but you still want the sound of tubes, but you're kind of scared of making the commitment, I got to say something. We had hooked up the Pathos in-pole Heritage, which was way too much power for this, but it was there because it's a very heavy amp. But it was there. We played it, and it was
it was
off the hook.
Yeah.
In-pole is a patented design No one else in the world has it. And I said, okay, go grab the Impole Remix, which is a smaller Impole amp. It's 25 watts, fully balanced. It's a bulky amp. I mean, it weighs a ton, but it's 25 watts, fully balanced, Impole. Impole amps are different than anything else in the world. No other company makes anything like it.
Yeah.
And how do you describe the sound?
I like to describe it as deep backgrounds and discreet slam. I don't know where the soundstage came from.
Yeah, it's effortless.
Effortless.
It's like it just breathes music out,
and it was
right?
the tiny compact amp that's a third of the cost of these speakers.
You get an amp, you can get a $5,000 amp or thereabouts and get a pair of these for around 16 grand. This is the special edition version, which has got trick finishes on it. We'll talk about that. But the thing is, I mean, you can get a state-of-the-art system for if you're smart about it, right?
If you're smart about it, yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So what did they change on this speaker? I'm going to talk just a second about the horn part, okay?
Yeah,
or about
yeah,
the bass driver,
yeah,
okay?
for sure.
All right, so here's the deal. All right, the original Klipschorns, back when I used to sell them, you had to put them into a corner because the cabinet was open. And the room that you put them in, it completed the cabinet, right? And so sometimes that would work a little bit better than others. You had to put them in a corner, but because you were putting them in a corner, typically the high frequency driver up here was going to be pointed kind of like that, right? Well, that meant that your listening position was going to be right about there. But it was a relatively narrow sweet spot for my taste. And Paul Klipsch we talked to Roy Delgado, who we spent a bit of time with Roy.
He's been designing with Paul Klipsch for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the head honcho at Klipsch now. We spent some time with him. And he talked about their desire to always complete the cabinet. This is an 8-foot-long folded horn down in this bass cabinet, okay? It is a folded cabinet inside. Now they've sealed it, and you know what that did for you? What did it do?
Oh my God! It created some dynamic range and some, flexibility.
Flexibility. You can put them anywhere that you want now. I've always talked to you guys and gals about speaker positioning is critically important, right? It is the beginning and the end. I don't care how much money you spend on a system. That's why we give you what we call our master's setup. We send you one piece of music. We send you 2 different sets of instructions. We want to make sure you do this right, because if you screw this up, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So now you can place the speaker not dependent on where it gets the best in a corner. You can place it where it sounds best. And even though, how big is this? I mean, did we get these speakers to disappear?
Yes.
They disappeared.
Yes, they disappeared.
I mean, so it was so amazing because you see something this big and you go, oh my God, you got to hear the boxes. And we did not hear the boxes.
It's immersive.
It was immersive. And that's what they did when they sealed the box. Oh my God.
And we got a pair.
Oh, and they got a pair.
So, yeah.
Tell them.
Well, after we had this experience, and when I say we, me and a couple of the employees, we're starting a sort of like an upscale hi-fi house. And we got a pair in walnut, and we're going to be putting them in the large dining room. And I just cannot wait. We took delivery of them 2 weeks ago.
They're in the back.
Big sticker that says "Do not touch"
Do
on
not
them.
touch. Don't touch. They belong to Chris, but I'm going to touch them.
I'm so excited. I want to open them.
Yeah, we should open them and really crush this groove.
Yeah. And it's taking me everything not to open them.
Yep. So the employees actually Chris bought them.
Chris bought them. They're
Chris
not mine
bought them.
yet.
Right. They're not cats. So they argued over that. So now they're going to have them over at their new place. There's a upscale employee house, I guess you want to call it. Right?
Every room
Kinda
has
like
hi-fi.
Real world upscale.
Real world upscale hi-fi.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about what's going on here, because they made some changes. It's got a very narrow slope to the crossover. It's 12 dB per octave,
Yeah.
so that way the drivers are not working against each other.
Much steeper slope.
Yeah. Now, what they do to the high frequency driver?
So this is the new LTS tweeter that Klipsch has been working on for 10 years. Stands for linear travel suspension. It's a tweeter with tiny ribs around the rings to allow the high frequencies to meet better with the mid-range.
That tweeter now has a new surround for the dome, okay? And it's and what it allows is for a little bit of excursion. Now, they're not the first people to do it because, being fair, Focal also uses something similar to that.
Yes.
They use a Poron suspension. It allows a little bit of excursion, and it just allows the high-frequency driver to blend a little more gracefully with the mid-range. I don't know how else to put it except that.
Mid-range was really important to Paul Klipsch too, and I feel like after talking to Mr. Delgado, they feel like they nailed it.
Yeah.
Because this is a speaker, don't forget, that has been its own speaker since the 40s. Like, a K-horn is a K-horn, and they finally feel like they nailed it.
They nailed it.
And that's an amazing thing.
Yeah. There's a lot more meat on the bones to the mid-range driver now than back in the early days. I mean, they've just really... Here, let's take this off.
Yeah.
There we go.
Those magnets.
There's the mid-range driver. There's the high-frequency driver. Now you're going to have a much broader sweet spot because you're going to be able to place the speaker where it sounds best. Now, what did they do with the internal wiring and the connections and stuff?
They did upgrade the internal wiring, and the assembly is a lot easier too. So rather than having to feed your cables from the head down into the chassis, it's actually external now through the side panel. So you can just pop that off. They have a thicker gauge AudioQuest cable, upgraded posts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah. It really gooses this thing up. I have to tell you. Now, this example here is the 75th anniversary. And this one has this 75th anniversary medallion on the front, which is a combination of rhodium and
Sterling silver.
sterling silver. And then it's an actual
A 2mm diamond.
in the front.
Yep.
And so if your wife gets mad,
And you need something to make her happy, just pop that off and make her some earrings.
make her some earrings. Right. Save your marriage.
75th anniversary.
And what if
earrings.
that doesn't work?
Then if not, then you can be buried in these.
Yeah.
Because they're big enough
Yeah.
for humans to fold up in.
Yeah, there you go. And just bury you in them. Or take them and put them in your van and live down by the river.
Down by the river.
Right, that's right. And I got to say something about this. When you talk about incredible value, and it's hard to kind of wrap your brain around this $16,000 in incredible value, but you got to say something.
Yeah.
These are what, 220
pounds.
220 pounds each. The new AK6s went up how much in weight?
45 pounds each.
Each, right? This is not some bullshit poser empty box.
No.
And that's what I love. You know, sometimes they talk about made in America. The 75th anniversary. Let's finish that up.
Oh, yeah.
This is the lamb's wool grill. And then they have this guy that acts as a buyer in their wood department. And he goes out to find absolute select pieces of wood. I mean, that's this guy's job, for their anniversary speakers. And so the regular speakers are available in amazing black.
Yep.
They are available in cherry. They're available in walnut. This is a selected teak, which is stunningly beautiful. They are made in book-matched pairs. So they are, serial numbered together. They are designed to go together.
This is for a Klipsch collector because the 75th anniversary will come with a book on history. It gives you a 1-year subscription to the Klipsch Museum. So if you guys really dig that and you are those audiophile nerds, that is history being made. This is something that you might really be into. Headphones, coasters. It comes with a whole bunch of accessories made from Klipsch for Klipsch.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's only really 2 companies that I consider to be in this class now today of companies that are still operating, making the same product in the same way that they used to. And that's, Tannoy and Klipsch. And both of them, have this, and this is the only American company. I mean, there's a couple other brands that we sell, I think, that can lay to that claim somewhat.
Yeah.
But not the same way.
This is deep.
This. Yeah, I mean, the people that are into Klipsch, and the thing is, it is not rock and rollers. They talk so much about that. being, pissing off your neighbors since 1946 and all of that stuff. The guys I know that love Klipsch are going to be like Sam Tellig, that used to write for Stereophile. He had, I've been in touch with him and we've talked about just how sweet the top end is and how well they image and how gorgeous the mid band is. Let's put this
And
back
the
on.
design of this, I mean, really, it was to help obtain the flattest response with horns, because horns is can be one of the most natural ways of listening to sound. So I kind of consider this to be like in a perfect acoustical space in a speaker.
Yeah. Spend the money on the speakers and
Yes.
then save money on the amplification. You can get an amazing tube amp for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, some of the best in the world. You can, and then take that saved money and put it into a speaker like this, or the La Scalas, or
They have
any
a
of the other
wide array
carriage.
of products that are affordable, that have the efficiency and dynamic range, which is another thing that I love about them. They're always thinking about the little people and also the collectors.
And that's one last thing. Before we end this, I got to say something about that. This speaker, you do not have to turn it up in order for it to breathe. There are some speakers, and I don't want to pick on them because there's some really good brands out there. Like Dyne Audio is a wonderful company. They're a real company, right? And they make real speakers. But I know that when I've listened to them along with a few other speakers like that, it seems like I need to turn them up just a little bit. I'm always feeling this urgency to turn them up a little bit until I get up to this point where I go, oh shit, it's playing too loud. And that's not what this speaker does.
Right.
Dynamic range is the difference between light and dark, loud and soft. And this speaker breathes even when you turn it down.
It'll give you all those details.
Hell
for
yeah.
lower listening volumes.
So look, come to our beautiful 10,000 square foot store. Talk to Kat. She is a convert now for some period of time, and a lot of my other employees, because we really, really dig Klipsch. And we will talk to you about what's appropriate for your room. She'll tell you the way it is. She'll tell you what'll work and what won't. Check out our website. Come to our beautiful store. Look, at Upscale Audio, what do we say, Kat?
We're going to treat our system like it's yours.
Your system like it's ours.
Your system like it's ours.
That's it. Thanks.